this is where you manage to transform a mistake into something positive from learning from it. And then when I was younger, I didn't have the right reaction. I will put myself so much down. It will also hurt my self-confidence. Now it's very different. I know that I got to a certain level because I worked hard, of course, because there's also a part of talent that you have when you are young. It's super important to keep the self-confidence super high in those difficult moments. Otherwise, you can lose a little bit the direction in which you need to work, and it can make things a bit more complicated. So that's where I was struggling when I was younger.
Yeah, I love that you brought that out, because I feel like everyone can relate to that. Like whether you drive cars or you don't, everyone can relate to the idea that we can be harsh on ourselves. We can be heavy on ourselves. We can be self-critical and judgmental. How did you learn to, like, let's say you've just done the first lap and you made a ton of mistakes, or you feel like you're behind. I can imagine that it's so easy for the next 2 laps to just be lost in criticizing yourself, and the thought in your head just being, should have taken that better, should have done this, should have done that. How did you grow to have a more positive relationship with that honesty and that self-criticism, as opposed to that thought repeating in your head? Has that happened before? Have you ever felt that, where you're criticizing yourself during a race, or there's no time for that?
Actually, no. I think adrenaline helps us in our sport to not think too much, because you haven't got the time to think. You go from one corner to the other. If you're already thinking about your last corner, you're going to do a mistake at the next corner. So you've got to mentally reset at every corner. And if you did a mistake, you need to reset for the next corner, which is in 1 second. So it's super quick, but I think adrenaline helps you. I think where I struggle more is when you finish a race on multiple laps and you are looking back at it and you're like, okay, this I shouldn't have done that mistake.